guys, in this tutorial we're going to look at orthographic projection using AutoCAD MEP, and in the next tutorial we'll be looking at how to produce an isometric drawing of the same objects that we're looking at today. So let's get straight to it. So we're going to create an orthographic projection and print it out on an A3 template. So basically we're going to create something a bit like this. Okay. Yes, so we have two objects. We have object 1 and object 2. So object 1 is a nut with it's basically a nut, and it has 8 sides. Okay, and the dimensions are in millimeters. So same thing for object 2, and object 2 is some kind of mechanical fitting. Okay, yeah, so we're going to work on this, and in the next video we're going to produce an isometric drawing of each of the objects. So now let's start with object 1. So first we start a new drawing from template. We are going to use the previous template that we created, the A3 landscape. Alright, now make sure you are working in the architectural workspace, because right now mine is switched to electrical. So click the gear icon and then choose architecture. So you should see the tool palette changing. Yeah, but at the moment we don't need the tool palette, so you can go ahead and close it. Yeah, now we only have our model and our paper space. Okay, so now in the model we're going to create this isometric projection of this object, of the nut, basically. So the side is 10, and the distance from this point to that point is 24. Okay, so yeah, this should be easy. Right. Yeah, so first, of course we don't need to check the units anymore, since we are using a template we defined earlier on. It should be in millimeters, and you can go ahead and set the scale to 1:1. Yeah. So we'll start off with a line, and this line will start off with one side, basically from here to here, so that is 10 millimeters. Then since this is a hexagon, this angle between this between the horizontal and this line, that is 45 degrees, so the difference would be 135. Okay, so we're going to keep on incrementing the angles until we complete this object. Okay, so you start off with a line at 0 degrees, and we need, this is a very small thing, so we need to zoom into the model space. Otherwise, if I type 10, it might not appear at all. Okay, so 5 is good enough. Somewhere here we have 10, so I might as well just click, since it's exactly 10. Now at 45 I need 10, then at 90 degrees I will need 10, and at an angle of so that should be 90 plus 45, 135. So I need 10. Then horizontally 180 degrees I need 10. Now 180 plus 45, that should be to 25. I also need 10. vertically below is at 270 degrees. I need 10, and now we can go ahead and use the endpoint snap setting. Okay, we can just hit escape. Okay, so now we are done with that part. So we are left with the circular bit, which has a radius of 8. Okay, so just go ahead and click the circle tool. And we are going to look for the center. We're going to look for the intersection of one of this midpoint and this midpoint. So where they intersect, that should be our geometrical center. Now we just specify the command line, the command section, the command area says circle specify radius of circle or diameter. So specify by radius. So just type in the dimension, which is 8. Hit enter, and we are done. So we are done with the front elevation. Now what we need is the plan and the end elevation. So we could start off with the plan and then later on the end elevation. Now for the plan, we only need to project lines downwards and then just measure off a distance of 5. Now we need to specify the distance between the axes. So we can choose any distance because they are not specific on what distance you should use between the axes. So you can choose any appropriate distance, probably something less than 5, because 5 is bigger than the spacing between it. So you can choose something like 2. Okay, so that would be 2 millimeters. So pick the line, choose an endpoint. So as I'm going downwards, I just type 2. So around here, I'll draw a line of an arbitrary distance. So let it just stop there. And click this and extend it to some reasonable length. Hit escape. Now we need the other axis. So click the line tool, choose an endpoint, hit 2 somewhere there. We draw that vertical line. Okay, to about that much, hit escape and make sure to extend this upwards. Okay, so escape. Now we need to project lines down here to create the plan. So pick an endpoint. We're going to start off from somewhere there and draw the first line. Then click the line tool again. Make sure quadrant is activated under snap settings. Under object snap settings, make sure quadrant is activated so that you can pick off points of the circle. So along that line, I'm going to start off there. So I'll need a center line, so I'll do the same thing for the center line. I'll just make it long enough, escape, then extend. Okay, now that's for the center line. Then I also need this point, so somewhere there, and I need this point, so somewhere there, and I need a point of the circle, so I start off from around there, and also I need this point, so from there to there, and hit escape. Okay, now we're going to draw a horizontal line. Should be offset 2 millimeters from this line, from the axis line. So hit 2 along there and draw a horizontal line. Now make sure this point crosses the line. So we try to extend these points to make sure they intersect with that new line. Okay, make sure they intersect. Sure they intersect. Same thing with this, we can just stretch it out to intersect, doesn't need to go beyond. Right, so click the line. Now from this point we need to measure 5 and go this side, it exactly. Okay, so we need to extend this. We'll make sure it intersects. Okay, just extend it. Oh, this is for the axis, so it actually needs to be longer than this. So select it and move it a little bit down. Okay, alright, so now what we need to do is to project lines this side to get the end elevation, and then later on we are going to trim off the excess. From around there, go this side. So the end is also 5, so we don't need to project those lines so far. Click. Now this point, click, and we need the center line. Can extend a bit and then stretch this one out. Then select that point, project, escape from the quadrant. Okay, escape. Then one last point there. Okay, now we need to draw a vertical line. It should be 2 millimeters from that point. So, and it should stop around there. Okay, so hit escape. Make sure this one crosses or intersects with that line. Now we need another vertical line from there to somewhere, it should be 5 upwards. Let it just intersect with the last line. Okay, so we can extend this to intersect with that line. Same thing with this one. Make sure the other lines intersect or go through, or whichever, just to be sure, let them go through that line. Okay, right, now we are done. All we need to do is trim off the extra bits, add some dimensions, and mark the center line as according to what is given in the description, and we'll be done. So cut off this part, cut, 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 and cut, and cut. Okay, so we cut and we cut. Okay, alright, so that was easy. Now we can just stretch this inwards. Also for the axis we can make it a little bit shorter. Okay, like that. Now we are going to create some layers, one for the center line, another one for the hidden details, and another one for dimensions. So click the layers properties button. Okay. Here, now the new layer button is here. 1, 2, 3. So we call this one center. We can call it center line, and we can choose a color pink, purple or pink, midway between purple and pink. Then the line should be center 2. Look for center 2 for very small. Okay, very small, like 0.5 times smaller. Okay, yeah, that kind of magnification. Okay, 0.5 times, so center 2. And now we rename layer 2 to something else. We call it hidden. Oh, how am I writing hidden? Hidden, like that. And we give it a color. We usually use green for hidden. And then we rename this as well to dimension. So let's just call it dim. And I normally use blue, this deep blue for dimension. Okay, so yeah, alright. So now what we need to do is to select these two. These are center line, and then just switch them over to center line. Then we need to select the hidden parts. So this one will be hidden because it represents the circle, and that one is also hidden. So wherever we have a circle, it's hidden. So we switch them over to hidden. Okay, I think that does that. Now what we need is to add some dimensions. So go to annotate, and we are going to dimensions. So we are going to choose standard, but before we choose it, we need to modify it. So go to manage dimensions, and we need to make it what we think is suitable. So choose ISO standard first of all, and text placement should be above, and text height we can make it a little bit bigger. Let's just make it 2 and start from there. Then offset from dimension line, we can increase it to 0.6 maybe. Okay, then okay, we can leave everything the way it is from here. I go to arrow, symbols and arrows. We can, let me see, arrow size, we can increase it to maybe 2 as well. Then okay, then primary units, we can change the precision to I should make 1 decimal place or not. Okay, 0 decimal place. Then yeah, we can leave it at that at the moment, and then try it out and see. So select aligned and choose this to see if it works. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Right, now this line is we need to put spacing between this point and that point. Okay, the point on the line. So we go back to manage dimensions. So click standard, click manage dimensions and modify. So we are looking for lines and offset from the origin. So we are going to extend this a bit. Okay, so the extension line needs to be offset by some bit. Okay, well, let's just use 2. Okay, or we use 3. Let's try 3. Let's try 3 maybe. Okay, then close. Okay, 3 is too far off, I think. I think 3 is too far. So let's change it again to 2. Let's just make it 2. Set from the origin to. Okay, close. Maybe that's better. I think we can work with that. Okay, so we have that. Now according to this we can add this one also. I think we can do better than this. So let's do it one last time. Modify. I'll just change it to 1.3. Okay, that should do it. Okay, now we choose 24. Measure of this distance is 24, and we need to measure of a 7 and 24, then the radius, then 5. Okay, in order to get the 7, we'll be using linear in this case. Here to here, that gives you that, because 7 is distance between from here to here, and not here to here, but here to here. Okay, so that is 7. And now what we need also to indicate 24. Now we go back to our line. Okay, that is 24. Now for the radius we just select this and then select the circle, then choose which direction we want it to appear, somewhere there. Okay, then we need to show this last part. Select this and this. Oh, okay, so for some reason it's the text is too big. Okay, that's why it can't fit there. So we can go ahead and reduce on the text height. So look for text and look for text height. I'm going to change it to 1.8 and see if that fits. Still not good enough. We try one last time. Make it 1.5. 1.5, and that should do it. If it doesn't, then we just leave it the way it is. Okay, let's just leave it. Still indicates dimension nonetheless. So we are done with this part, and what we need to do now is Okay, so now we are done with the first object. Now we need to work on object 2. So object 2 is some kind of fitting, a mechanical fitting, and we have this as our front elevation, then the end as seen from the left, then the plan. Alright, so let's take some minute to, well, it should be easily done. Alright, so this distance is 40, and then 40, then we divide 10, 10, 8, 8, 5. Okay, or 5 in the middle, then 10, 10 on the side. Because we have 10 and 10, then the balance is 20. If I remove 5, we should actually have 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5. But for some reason the precision must have been to 0 decimal place. That is why it's showing the rounded number, which is 8. Obviously it should have been 7.5. Alright, so we just put 5 in the middle. We could as well measure off 7.5, then draw the 5, and then the balance will be 8. Okay, so somewhere here I'm going to draw the second object. Go back to home, choose line, and well, since the first one is like rectangular, so we can as well first of all make sure you are using layer 0, then choose going to draw a rectangle. So this rectangle is going to be 40 by 40. Okay, so that's our rectangle. Now put some, going to put 5 for the distance between the axes and the objects, 5, and extend that as far as there. Escape. Then do the same thing here. Distance of 5, and extend this down to that point. Okay, so measure off 10, measure off 10 from this side, then measure off 7.5, so type 7.5, then measure off 5, okay, we zoom in a little bit, and so what we are going to do is just measure off 7.5 from the other end. The balance should be 5. 7.5. Oh, it's not working. Measure off 5. Okay, so there we have it. So we are done with the front. Let's do the plan because it's easier. There are no circles in it. So choose the line tool and start off at a distance of 5. To that point, click. I need to capture that distance. This distance is the same as from here to here, which is 20 plus 60 plus 20, and that is 100. So downwards 100, then to that point should be we don't need to know, but we need to know from here to here. That is 5 plus this small hole is a square, which is 5, so that is 10. And then to the center line, it should be a distance of 5, so that's 15. Then plus 20. From here to here is 20, so 20 plus 15 is 35. So 35 minus 100, we should have 65. So upwards should be 65. Then that distance, we don't need to know it, we can just project from there. And this one, then this one, and then there. Escape for the hole, that square hole somewhere there, so just draw a line. And I think better still, we should start off the line from the end, so we could okay, let's just get the exact value. So this is 20, then plus 5, so 25. At 25 is where we draw that. So from here, so now 25 plus 10, it should be 35, so go downwards by 35. Okay, now at that point we can draw, that is exactly 5, so click. That is also 5, so click. That is 5 also. And now the end point, then escape. Okay. Now for the hexagonal hole, should be able to draw I think for the hexagonal hole, we need to first actually draw the hexagon in the end elevation. Okay, so we can leave that there in the meantime, and probably we should add a center line at 20 from the top. Should be that much, so extend it to there. Okay, so same thing here, add a center line at 20 upwards. Yeah, so that should do it. Okay. Right, so now we need to draw the other part. So what we are going to do actually is we'll just draw first a rectangle 60 by 40, then we add circles of radius 20. Okay, that should be easy. So that rectangle should start from an offset of 20. So from that, actually 25. So type 25. So it should start off there. And it should be by dimension 60 by 40 there. Okay, now let us draw a circle here, making sure that another circle there. Okay, right, so now what we need to do is we should first of all trim off some of the details so that we can draw the rest. So we select type trim, enter, and we are going to get rid of this, this and this. Okay, yeah, so now let's start with this. So we have this part for the square hole, this hole, then we have this line for this separation. Okay, for the one that makes the interior groove. So the square hole is at 25 from this edge. The circular part to the hole, that distance is 25. Then after the hole, we have a distance of 5. Okay, so that should be fairly easy to do. Should get the line and look for that end point and just extend 5. Okay, yeah. And then again look for 5 there, and then for the other part also look for 5 there. Right, now we need to draw the hexagonal hole, which is has a side of 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. So we can do that very fast with our line tool. We can just draw it anywhere and then move it to the center. So click and type 6, then at 45 also type 6, then upwards 96, then at 1, that is 90 plus 45, so 135, type 6, horizontally is 6, then at 225, 6, then vertically below should be 6, then, and we are done. Now we select the whole object and we are going to move it. So type move and look for move, so select move. Now we are going to move the center of that object, so we're going to have to create the center. Yeah, so that is our center. Now we move it to the center of the center of this circular part, and that is the center of that circle, so move it there. Okay, because that's where it is, in the center. Yeah, so I think we're done with this. Now all we need to do is to move these other parts to the we're not quite done yet. We need to project the whole to the front and the end. Okay, so first to the front elevation, get your line tools, select that point and move it from there to there. Take the line tool again, move that point to there and there. Take the line tool again, move that point to there and there. Line tool, move that point to there and there. Okay, so now we need a center line because of the circular part. So look for a geometrical center, which is this one. So there. So now we can just stretch this one out to cover the whole the end elevation. Okay, so now we need to project this hole to the plan. So we need a 45 a line at an angle 45 along the axis. So 45 downwards should be 315. That angle should be 315. 315 plus 45 makes 360. Is it? Yeah, that is it. So now we need that line, then we project this here, project there, and move it here and there. Okay, so we actually don't need to draw the lines to from here to here. We can just project them and then start from there. So project it there and then move it there. Okay, so project this other line. In case you don't see that green X, means you need to activate this current intersection, and then also you need to activate intersection. Okay, so we're going to project the endpoint there to there, and one more, project that endpoint to there and there. Okay, so now we are done. All we're left to do is to trim. Okay, so select everything, type trim, get rid of this, get rid of that, leave the center line, get rid of that. Oh, the center line, we need it, so just take that. So whatever doesn't go is okay, you can just leave it. Okay, so from the front we remove that bit, this bit, this one, this, and that. Okay, now hit escape. Now we can just delete these, select and delete, delete. Okay, so now we can move these to the these are all hidden, so select this, so these are hidden, 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 hidden. Okay, now just switch the layer to hidden. And then we need to select these to center line. So just move it to center line. Center line. Okay. Now we need to add some dimensions. 40 dash okay, we can do that. Go to annotate. Since we've already set dimensions for these objects, we should be able to use the same settings. Okay, that should be enough. 60. That is 6, and choose this one. Okay, that should be enough. Now for the circular bits, I'll just put it there, and this one we can try that again. I'm going to just leave it inwards. Okay, and then distance between, I'll use this one, distance between that point there, that's 5. And what else? Okay, yeah, that should do it. Now we just select dimensions and put them. So select similar, select similar. Okay, and move this to the dimension. Okay, so I think we are done. So what we are left to do is to project them here. So just go over to the paper space and choose layout, rectangular. So I'm going to place the smaller object here and a bigger object somewhere there. So we start with maybe the bigger object. I'll draw out a viewport. Okay, and I focus the bigger object here. Okay, that should do it. And then a smaller object. I'm going to place the smaller object here. So focus the smaller object here. Okay, so that should do it, right? Oh, I moved it. Okay, that should do it. Right. So I go back to home and I need to add an extra layer for the viewport so that I can freeze the viewport in order for that line not to appear. So now select the viewports and add them to the viewport layer. Viewport, Now just freeze the viewport layer, and there we have it. Okay, yeah, that is our drawing. And maybe we can add the symbols for projection, then the name, but I'm guessing you already know how to do that already. Okay, so I'm going to try to just add the symbol. Just draw out a circle and another circle inside, like that. Then I need to draw a line from there to somewhere there. Okay, so that was easy, right? Now that means first angle, orthographic projection, the scale is 1:1, and we can put a name. Maybe we can change this to that ghost something. So draw out a name, text area, and you can put the name. Okay, this is still Arial bold. I wanted to change it to a different font. Okay, that one. Now we can just copy this. Title, date, scale. Okay, so rename this. Title should be orthographic projection. So graphic projection. Like that. The date, today's date. Today is should be the 17th of July. Now for the scale, we just put 1:1. Okay, like that. So we are done. Now we can go ahead and first of all save. We didn't save, so we can save as so we can save as orthographic drawing. I think we can save it as an orthographic drawing like that. Okay, that one, fine. And then we can print it out. So we don't need to preview because I don't know. I don't think we need to preview. We just save it and see what the PDF gives you. Yeah, that should do it. That should do it, don't you think? Yeah. That is it. That is what we want. Right, so yeah, that's it for today. Yeah, so in the next tutorial we are going to produce these two objects in we're going to produce isometric drawings of these two objects.